It started on a crisp morning, the kind that smells of fresh beginnings. Maya and I had been inseparable since childhood, a bond cemented by years of laughter, shared dreams, and secrets. I had always admired her strength, her unwavering optimism, even when life threw its hardest punches. She trusted me with everything, from the mundane details of her day to the deeply personal chapters of her life. I felt privileged, and I never doubted that trust. Until one moment, one careless slip, shattered it. The secret wasn't mine to tell, yet it lingered in my mind like a forbidden fruit. It was something Maya had shared during a night of vulnerability, a truth about her family, one she had carried silently for years. I remember promising her, with every ounce of sincerity I had, that it would stay between us. But promises, I learned, are fragile things. All it took was one casual conversation, one misplaced sentence, and everything changed.
The day it happened felt ordinary. I was at a mutual friend's gathering, laughter and chatter bouncing off the walls. It was there, amidst the hum of meaningless conversations, that someone brought up Maya's name. The conversation drifted casually, as conversations often do, from surface-level observations to deeper, more personal topics. I didn't think, I just spoke. "Did you know about her dad?" I asked. The words felt innocent enough at the time. But as soon as they left my mouth, I froze. I realized too late the weight of what I had just done. The secret wasn't public knowledge. It was hers, and hers alone, to share. I saw the surprise flicker in the eyes of those around me, a mix of curiosity and sympathy. The moment hung heavy, but no one pressed further. I excused myself, retreating to the bathroom, my heart pounding. What had I done? The guilt hit like a tidal wave, and no amount of mental justification could soften the blow. The fallout was inevitable. Maya confronted me a few days later, her voice shaking with a mixture of disbelief and pain. "How could you?" she asked, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. I stammered, searching for an explanation that would make sense, but none came. "I didn't mean to," was all I could manage before she cut me off. Her trust in me had been a lifeline, and I had severed it with one careless moment. She didn't yell, didn't scream. That's what hurt the most. Maya's silence spoke volumes, each pause heavy with disappointment. "I trusted you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It wasn't just a secret I had let slip. It was the foundation of our friendship. I wanted to fix it, to turn back time, but the damage was done." All I could do was watch her walk away, her silhouette growing smaller and smaller until it disappeared completely. The days that followed were a blur of self-recrimination. I replayed the moment over and over, dissecting every word, every gesture, every choice. How could I, someone who valued trust above all else, have been so reckless? I tried reaching out to Maya, but my calls went unanswered. Texts were left on read. The silence was deafening, and it forced me to confront a harsh truth. I might never earn her trust back. In her absence, I found myself reflecting on the nature of secrets. They're not just words, they're pieces of someone's soul, entrusted to another with the hope that they'll be safe. By breaking that trust, I had broken something far more delicate. I resolved to change, to be more mindful, but the question haunted me. Would I ever get the chance to show Maya that I could be better? Weeks turned into months, and the silence remained unbroken. Then, one evening, a message popped up on my screen. It was from Maya. My heart raced as I opened it, half expecting another wave of anger. Instead, her words were cautious but open. "Let's talk," she wrote. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a start. I realized then that rebuilding trust would take time, patience, and an unwavering commitment to change. When we met, the air was heavy with unspoken words. Maya listened as I apologized, truly and deeply, for what I had done. "I'm not ready to trust you again," she admitted, her voice steady, "but I'm willing to try." Her words were a lifeline, and I held on to them with all my might. This time, I vowed I wouldn't let her down. Rebuilding trust with Maya wasn't easy. Every conversation felt like walking on eggshells. She was guarded, understandably so. But I took it as a challenge, to prove to her that I valued her trust, her friendship, more than anything. I started small, being more thoughtful with my words, carefully avoiding anything that might make her feel vulnerable. It wasn't just about not slipping again, it was about earning back the respect I had lost. I made sure to listen when she spoke, to reassure her that her feelings were valid. There were moments when I felt frustrated, when the weight of my mistake felt unbearable. But I reminded myself that trust isn't given, it's earned. And this time, I was determined to earn it, no matter how long it took. I would rather fight to have her back in my life than lose her to my carelessness forever. It was during one of our rare, candid conversations that Maya revealed something unexpected. "You know," she said, her voice soft, "I was so angry with you, not just because you told my secret, but because it reminded me of how fragile trust is." Her words were a mirror, reflecting my own guilt. She confessed that part of her silence wasn't just hurt, it was fear. Fear that trusting again would only lead to more pain. Her vulnerability reminded me of how much I had damaged, but it also gave me hope. "I don't deserve your trust," I admitted, "but I want to try to be better, for you and for myself." Maya smiled, just slightly. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a step. And for the first time in months, I felt a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, we could find our way back. A few weeks later, Maya told me another secret, smaller than the last but just as important. My heart raced as she spoke, realizing that she was giving me another chance. "Don't break this one," she warned, her tone a mix of seriousness and tentative trust. This time, I didn't just promise, I made a silent vow to myself. I wouldn't let her down again. Keeping her confidence felt like carrying a fragile vase, one I protected fiercely. Every time someone brought up her name, I felt a pang of fear, a reminder of what I had done. But this time, I stayed silent. This time, I chose her trust over my impulse to speak. It was a small victory, but it meant the world to me. Looking back, I realized that revealing Maya's secret had been a wake-up call, not just about the value of trust, but about the weight of words. Every time I spoke without thinking, I risked breaking something precious. It wasn't just about Maya, it was about every relationship I had. I began to take stock of my actions, to think before I spoke, and to value the trust others placed in me. Maya's forgiveness wasn't just a gift, it was a lesson. She had shown me that trust could be rebuilt, but only if I was willing to work for it. And for her, for us, I was willing to do whatever it took. Months later, Maya and I found ourselves laughing over something trivial, the way we used to. The scars were still there, but they no longer defined our friendship. "I think we're going to be okay," she said one day, her tone lighter than it had been in months. I nodded, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. We were healing, slowly but surely.
It wasn't a perfect ending. It wasn't meant to be. But it was a new beginning, one built on honesty, vulnerability, and a shared determination to move forward. And as we laughed together, I realized that trust, once broken, could be rebuilt, not easily, but with love and effort.